Welcome to Shot of Ag. I'm your host, Rob Sharkey. Farmers, they have a difficult job. Yeah, a lot of times you're raising corn, soybeans, you got some livestock. You got to make money this year or you're not. Well, the good farmers, they learn to diversify. Today we're going to be talking with Matt Boucher from Dwight, Illinois. How you doing, Matt?
Pretty good, sir. Yourself?
Good. Where is Dwight in the great state of Illinois?
Kind of centrally located, more or less. Some people call it north central. Some say it's just central, but to me, it's kind of in between those two, really. So if you know where Kankakee is, you know where Joliet is, you know where Streator is, kind of right smack dab between those three, more or less. So right off I-55, off of Route 17.
Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois.
That's all you had to say.
Fair enough.
Is that where you're from originally?
Originally from a little bit farther north, and we had relocated the farm back when I was getting out of high school, and had the opportunity to take over the day-to-day of the family farm, and been that way ever since.
Relocated the farm?
Yeah, we basically got chased out by houses, to sum it up.
Oh.
So we in order to maintain farming, my dad and my uncle were ready to step back at that point, and I was coming back from school, so it was just natural fit to jump in and continue our farming legacy, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm fourth generation farmer and certainly wanted to see that continue.
So you were up around Chicago?
Not quite. We were by Plainfield, Lockport area.
Still, they were growing and...
Yeah, it's pretty much all Chicago now. I mean, it's all developed up there, but at the time it was a nice country area.
And how old were you when that happened?
I would have been 21, 22.
Okay. So,
somewhere.
I mean, was that... I always wondered about that, right? How that would work. I mean, was your family okay with that?
Yeah, in our case, there was so much development going on around us, and farms getting sold all the time, and so much traffic and everything. It was time to go. If we were going to continue the farm, it was evident that it was time to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, safety reasons, driving machinery up and down the road, and that it's
drives
not a
me
place for a farm
insane
anymore.
to be driving farm equipment around. I know guys do it all the time,
Yep.
but it would drive me nuts to have to take a combine 5 miles when you've got 80,000 cars you got to go by.
Yeah, it's a whole different world up there. I mean, it's nice having 4-lane roads and what have you. It's a lot nicer with that than 2 lanes, but it wasn't much fun. You know,
Yeah.
It was just time. The timing was right. That's all.
So at that time in your life, did you know that you were coming back to the farm?
I was born and raised, and that's all I wanted to do. And whether I was going to come back to our farm and run it, or go work for another farmer somewhere else, and I mean, that's all I've ever wanted to do. You know, when I was a kid, you couldn't keep me out of a tractor, no matter what. The heck with homework, the heck with all that stuff. I wanted to be out in the field in a tractor and get my hands dirty. So.
Did you go to school?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Went out to JGC first and did my 2 years there, and then transferred out to Iowa State, Joliet Junior College.
Oh, okay.
Excellent ag program up there, and did a few years there in ag biz, and then transferred out and did more ag biz and econ and things like that out at Iowa State.
Iowa?
Yep.
Why?
Fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with it. Not knocking anything local or anything here, but as soon
Sounds
as I
like
did
you are.
No, not at all. That I like the country stuff, and it was a whole different feel when we got out to campus out in Iowa State.
Okay.
You turn on, for example, the news out there, and there was an ag report even on the 5 o'clock news. And growing up by, closer to Chicago, that was the last thing you heard on any kind of news there. So it just had a whole different feel. I fell in love with it, and that's where I finished out my education there.
Gotcha. Who's all involved in your farm now?
So we're definitely family operation. We got my uncle and myself. We do primarily all the work that's done. We do have some neighbors and stuff that come help us out in season as well. My mom is part of it as well, but we got a couple of kids that are getting old enough to come up and want to have their hand in it. My oldest has sewed hogs at 4-H fairs and that for a while. She's gotten involved, and my son.
She's not that gal that looks all crazy with the.
No, not that
that's
crazy.
Not her?
No. That girl had a lot of passion there, to say the least. I would say mine is a little more on the having fun side with it. She enjoys it a little bit more, but she got involved in that for quite a while, and my son's also coming up. And he wants to be involved in certain ways, but he likes more of the turf management and some of the agronomy side. He likes to golf and likes to go out and do that type of stuff. So he might take on that side of ag on the horticulture side more, but still help out on the farm.
Now, is there some pressure now? Do you feel like you have to get your farm to where you can bring back one or both of the kids?
Well, sure, you always have that. There's always that thought of, for the last 20 years or so, it's been what I want to do with the farm, but now we're looking at the next generation, and if they want to come back, then we have to figure out a way to fit them in. And if they don't want to come back, like I've told them, hey, if it's not your thing, then you need to go out and do what's right for you. And maybe that's going out and running your own restaurant or whatever it is. But you have to do what's right for you. But if you want to come back to the farm, we're going to try and figure out a way to have room for you to come back to the farm. That's important.
Yeah. So what all are you raising on your farm?
So we're diversified, and a lot of people say we're busy, to say the least. We do corn, beans, and wheat, so standard commodities there.
Yeah.
Because of my oldest getting into hogs there for showing hogs, we started raising some hogs for meat. So we got into pork, and that spilled over into chicken, so meat, chicken, and eggs.
How does pork spill over into chickens?
So go back to COVID times. COVID was always interesting at how things all worked out. But one Facebook post I made saying, hey, we're going to get a few meat birds to raise and put in our own freezer. And within about a half hour, I had 175 of them sold because people were asking for fresh
People were
meat.
nuts back then.
It was different. I had
Yeah.
a lot of phone calls for a lot of locally raised pork and meat at that point. So we got into raising meat birds and diversified into that, and now we're into raising popcorn and pumpkins and some other things as well to
Like
make us
pumpkins
more
for
diversified.
Canning?
No, just to sell for Halloween, things like that. I mean, yeah, you can can them, and people have made pies and things like that.
Yeah,
out of
but
them too,
like you see like the commercially grown pumpkins and that's not you.
No, we're more on the jack-o'-lantern side of things.
Are you selling them yourself or selling them to like an orchard or something?
No, we sell them right off the farm. Everything we do is right off the farm.
Do you have like a stand, a booth, a shed?
We're working on making our own, this winter is our goal to make our own little store. Frankly, I have an office in our shop, and we're going to convert that over into a store. Right now, we set up a farm stand outside of the house, and people come by and pick up their pumpkins and whatever else, or eggs or different things like that.
Yeah, but then people come to your farm.
Yeah, it takes a little getting used to.
Oof.
We get probably 3 or 4 people every day at least that come by. And
You're okay with that?
It takes a little getting used to, yes.
Okay.
So
I suppose there's people like watching us. I don't know. We understand each other because we're farmers, and yes, we're out there just cussing on our farms by ourselves and happy with that.
that happens once in a while.
But I don't know. It would be odd to open up. I would be afraid to open up my farm to other people.
Sure.
So I look at a person like yourself, and I'm like, wow, that's something I'd be afraid to do.
Well, luckily, we've been blessed with a lot of good customers here so far. And one thing I always try to do is on the education side of farm, we tell everybody, hey, this is why things are the way they are. If somebody wants to come look and see what our hens look like and the environment we're raising them in, and that I'm more than willing to come show them that, why they come out to pick up their eggs or whatever. But I'm open with them, like, hey, farming is dirty. There's going to be manure. There's going to be dirt. There's going to be stuff that, isn't always the most eye appealing, but it's the way life is. It's the truth, and sometimes you got to get in there and get knee deep and shovel manure out, and it's not pretty, but it happens.
So you can deal with, because my fear would, I'm sitting there, I'm raising pigs, and they come out and they're like, oh, I'm not going to buy that pig because it's dirty or whatever. And I would snap. I was like, why don't you shut your damn mouth and get back in your Subaru? But you don't do that.
We try not to, no. We've had some interesting conversations with a few folks over the years. But I'm very upfront and say, hey, this isn't Cinderella. This isn't, the movie with the pig. Help me out here.
Babe?
Babe, yes. This isn't Babe. It isn't things like that. This is real. And frankly, pigs love mud. We have a pen for our hogs anyway. We have a pen they can go inside and seek shelter, but they also go out and lay in the mud. And that's what they love. Pigs literally love mud, and a lot of people don't want to see that, even although it's their natural habitat.
Yeah.
That's how they cool off.
Charlotte's Web also would be a correct answer.
Yes.
Because I imagine my wife's in the control room going,
That's-
why would you answer Babe?
Either way,
Yeah.
kind of go down the same route.
Okay, so what we do generally in you're driving down the interstate, you see cornfields, right? That is number 2 field corn. It's
Right.
mainly used for ethanol and for animal feed.
Correct.
You can't put that corn in the microwave and pop it.
Nope. Not at
So
all.
tell me, is it a different plant or a different? What's the difference between popcorn and the corn? The vast majority of corn that people are seeing going down the road.
Sure. So anytime I have a conversation with somebody about corn, they always refer back to sweet corn. You know, we're all familiar with that, and you can cook it up on the ear and everything in the middle of summer. It's great.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, you have your field corn. It's the same looking plant, but you harvest it at a different time of the year, and it's dry. Popcorn's the same way as field corn is. It looks a little bit different. It's a little stringier of a plant. It still looks just like regular corn, but the ears are completely different on it. And if you go to stick that field corn into the microwave, it's not going to do anything. But if you stick popcorn in there, it builds pressure inside that kernel. It explodes. That's how you literally get popcorn.
This is it, huh?
Yep.
This is what you've grown on your farm.
Correct.
Oh.
We got to make you work for it.
Do you? Well, this is about your farms.
Yep.
So do you do this on your farm? Or you send it off somewhere?
No,
to
we
get,
do everything on the farm. We have a seed cleaner that we run everything through, and it does a fairly good job of cleaning everything out. And
Yeah, it looks
we
good.
stick it right in the microwave and pop it up, put a little butter on it, and it's good stuff all the way around. So not good for chowing on it like that, though. You can have that one. I like them popped personally.
We got people for that.
But we do probably about 4,000 pounds of popcorn every year here so
4,000
far.
pounds.
Yeah,
Divided
but-
by 50, is it 56?
More on the 60 side. It's a lot more dense than what regular corn is.
So 60 pounds per bushel. That's I don't know. How many of these in a bushel, you know?
Well, if in a bushel, there would be roughly 60 of those. Those are roughly.
Oh, it says a pound. Okay.
Yeah, roughly
Yeah.
a pound, give or take.
Okay.
So,
So
and that'll pop a lot of popcorn when it expands out. And,
this will.
yes.
Like this will be more than one
Oh
setting.
yeah, that'll be probably 15 or 20 settings, I would say.
Okay. How are people popping popcorn nowadays? Because I'll be honest, ours, we do the little bag in the microwave.
So
Yeah.
the convenience is the biggest thing with a lot of consumers in this day and age, and we're working with some packers that will be able to have our own microwave popcorn bags.
Oh, really?
And that's one of our goals here for the winter is to get that established as well. But of course, there's hoops to jump through with that as well. But a lot of people just get a pan, they'll put a little butter in the bottom or a little oil in the bottom, put the popcorn in, pop it up. We are working on other solutions to help people along with that normally just depend on microwave popcorn all the time. But we have
They don't
started,
have the thing anymore. You used to have it as a kid, right?
yeah, the air poppers.
Is that what it was? And it would pop it and it would like come
Yep.
over the thing?
Yep, we have
Man,
those too. But
do
you
they
have to
still
add
make those?
Yeah, we have one at home actually. The only thing is, people are so used to getting the microwave popcorn with the seasoning and the butter in it already.
Yeah.
With the air popper, it comes out dry, and then you have to put all that on. And
Oh, those poor people.
yeah, it's not what they're used to, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And if we can do the microwave popcorn thing with our popcorn and our farm name on it, that's just another way for us to diversify our farm. And when tough times come on the farm, that gives us another revenue stream there to help get through.
Can you use your planter, sprayer, combine, your usual farm equipment to grow popcorn?
Yes. Yep, we totally do. We got to we clean the planter out really, really well, plant the popcorn just like you would regular field corn or beans, and then do the same thing with the combine. We clean it out really, really well and combine that with regular combine. Well, you know, obviously set completely differently, but
Yeah. Oh, I
it's still
imagine.
just like
Yeah.
regular field corn.
I've heard that popcorn is very prone to fall over as a
Yes.
plant.
Yep.
So I imagine you got to be pretty aggressive when you're growing it.
Yep,
Like
you got to
this.
have the right variety, and one big thing too you see is, you see popcorn being advertised as non-GMO. We can get into that in a whole nother conversation, but all popcorn is non-GMO. So if you have
Really?
any kind of rootworm issues or any kind of corn borer issues, it's going to go after the popcorn, whereas it might not go after the field corn in the field next to it or something like that.
So it doesn't even have a Roundup trait
Nope.
to it.
Not
You're
at
going old school with
This
this.
is old school conventional all the way
Okay.
around.
Has it worked out well for you?
Yeah, so far.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done this on small scale. We've done it for probably 5 years now, I would say, 4 years, and we've been slowly expanding that 4 years, and then slowly expanding that more and more. And as demand goes up, we plant more, and I've got some lofty goals, but it takes time to get there,
Yeah.
of course.
What is a cover crop?
So the definition is, it means a lot of different things to different people. But a cover crop generally for us is a plant that we will drill in or fly onto our fields. We seed that we will drill or fly onto our fields after we combine our regular corn or bean crop. That cover crop, those plants would grow in between when we harvest and when we plant the next crop. Has a lot of benefits in certain ways, but that's kind of the short summary of it.
So I've done cover crops before. We've tried them. Seems like I'm always behind the 8 ball with them because by the time because my harvesting to me is a priority, right?
Sure.
Getting it all done.
It's got to be number one.
And
yeah.
then when I get done with that, we go in and we put in cover crops, and it's a guessing game whether the weather is too late or
Yep.
not. What are you finding?
So the biggest thing is timely, right? And of course, Mother Nature has to work with you. We did some stuff 2 years ago, and it was so dry in that fall that we planted it, and 3 weeks later, we finally got a rain, and then it all came up. Some of the stuff we had planted there, it needed to get growth on it before it frosted, and being it didn't grow right away, it frosted and it didn't make anything. It's a risk you take. No different than planting corn or beans. But products like cereal rye, we can plant that even now when it's cold, and it'll still come up by spring regardless. So you got to go by every situation and treat every situation a little differently. But timing is everything, and that's where we come in. We do a lot of custom drilling for a lot of customers, and we can get in there while they're still combining, and we can get in there and get it done.
Yeah.
So we try to anyway.
We do whitetail deer outfitting,
Sure.
so a lot of times in those fields, we have the co-op come on and put our dry on. We'll just have them put like some cereal rye in there too.
Yep.
It's hit and miss. It's whether it works or not. You mentioned like putting it on, flying it on.
Yep.
You doing that with a plane or a drone?
A helicopter or an airplane right now. Drones are kind of coming up and gaining their place in the market. But if you have, I know guys do it, but if you have a large flat field, it's not always efficient to use a drone. I think drones are going to be over time, going to be more suited for areas where helicopters and planes can't easily get to because of tree lines or power lines or whatever else might be in the way. But each one of them has their own strengths and weaknesses, and we'll be able to get that seed or fertilizer or even sprays on as needed, depending on their strength and weakness in that situation that they're in.
So you sell the cover crop seed and also do some custom. You'll put it on for other people, like
Yes.
the drilling and that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we do.
I see that's become more and more popular in my neighborhood. It used to be like the old drills that would put it into it. Now you see a lot of tillage equipment that's been retrofitted to where it can put the seed on and work.
Right.
So when you're working up, you can also kind of plant too.
Right. Trying to do, 2 birds, 1 stone type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works really well. On our air, we have a 30-foot air seeder. I can load that up, and we can do 150 acres on a fill. A lot of times with the tillage equipment, guys will run into, they can only put 20 or 30 acres on a fill, so they find
Gotcha.
themselves stopping and filling quite a bit. But it's cheaper. It does work really well, and it works. There again, everybody has their own situation, and it works well for them. So good for them.
Mainly rye.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's our biggest seller. But we're trying to, rye ahead of beans works really, really well. Cereal rye ahead of beans works really, really well. We're trying to figure out what works really well ahead of corn. And that's what the whole industry is trying to figure out. And there's no silver bullet ahead of corn like cereal rye is ahead of beans. So
Yeah.
we're always experimenting with different things and different timings, and whether airplane or helicopter or other means, and trying to figure that out. But it's something we learn from every year.
We try to put some of the radishes and turnips into, and when those hit, they get massive out there.
They do.
And then, man, do they smell in the spring.
Oh yeah. 2019 when they had all the prevent plant acres, we drilled a tremendous amount of radishes and oats throughout the summer, and come fall and winter when they started to die off, we had a lot of phone calls saying, man, this stuff stinks, and that's just kind of the way it goes.
Not many people have been in a Super Bowl commercial. but here you are.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
We were blessed to work with the Illinois Farm Families, and they had a program stating the fact and trying to convey the fact to non-ag people throughout the state that 96% of the farms in Illinois are indeed family owned and operated just like ours. And so our family I should say, and numerous other farm families across the state were contacted and asked to be part of the program. I think there was 12 families in all. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was 12 altogether that were scattered throughout the state. And we got to be in a series of different commercials that were aired throughout the state, including a handful of Super Bowl commercials that were played either during the Super Bowl or around the Super Bowl timing to help convey that message.
Yeah.
And they had some really good results on that.
You must have got big bucks for that.
No, nothing at all. I wish.
Tell me about Reeves Across America.
So Wreaths Across America is a great program. We help out the Will County Farm Bureau up in Will County, up in the Joliet area. They work with the Abraham Lincoln Cemetery. It'll be coming up here soon. That they'll start taking donations and everything for the 2025 year. But anyway, their goal is to put a wreath out every Christmas on every grave that's in the cemetery. And their numbers are going up every year, and the more and more donations come in every year. But of course, more and more veterans are getting buried there every year as well. Yeah. So I work with them in the fact that the Will County Farm Bureau facilitates bringing the wreaths in, and a lot of the farmers with the Will County Farm Bureau will load up their livestock trailers with the wreaths, physically bring them into the cemetery, and I document that for them and help make some promotional videos to help from a local level, bring more attention to it and hopefully answer that goal of getting more and more wreaths out on all those graves and eventually on all the graves throughout the whole cemetery.
You're talking real wreaths?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Real ones. Yeah.
It's very cool. I've seen videos and probably your stuff of it. It's very cool. It just gives you a good feeling, and honestly, memories deserve that too. So
yeah, it's a great program. It's a great day. A lot of families will come out and get involved and help put the wreaths out, and then they'll have a memorial program there as well that day. Highly recommended, and if you got time, swing by, check it out.
You say you produce the stuff. You've been involved in social media and that.
Right.
Where can people find you?
TikTok is obviously the biggest thing out now, so it seems.
It'd probably be banned by the time this comes
be.
out. Yeah.
I will see what happens with that. But TikTok, I'm the Farm Dad on TikTok, or just look up Matt Boucher. You'll find me either way. We've had a Facebook group and a Facebook farm page, which is just Boucher Farms. We've had that for quite a few years now and keep working with that. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook or TikTok is primarily where I hang out anymore these days. Anymore.
Yeah. What's your Blue Sky account?
I haven't got that far yet.
You haven't?
Nope. I'll have to follow your lead.
I took my name.
Okay.
Because when something pops up, I always make sure that Shark Farmer doesn't go to somebody else.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So yeah, it's very cool to see a farmer that is proactive, because we're probably going to be going into a downturn if we aren't already there in agriculture. But if you diversify, there's always big opportunities out there, and it seems like y'all embrace it.
We try to. I try to do something new and different on the farm every year because that's how you learn, right? If you just do the same thing and do the same thing that everybody else does, you're not putting that step forward. So sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. But going more and more on the local sale things, we've got, like I said before, we've got really good customers that we've been blessed with, and hopefully we can continue that, and maybe that'll build something for the kids to take over someday. We'll have to see where that ends up. But right now things are going pretty good on that side.
That's fantastic. And what'd you call the air popper? What was it?
That was just an air popper. That's all it is. So plug it in the wall, hit a button, simple as could be.
We don't get political on this show, but maybe we could make air poppers great again.
Hey, we can do that. You got to buy a red one though, right?
What did I just say about political?
Just a color, that's all. You can get blue ones too, I guess. But.
Yeah, those were the best. Like Sunday night, I remember watching Disney on Sunday night, and we'd always pop the popcorn because
Sure.
that was a treat we got back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good stuff.
Yeah, very cool. No, very, very cool. You've always been a good representative of agriculture, so I want to thank you for that. But
thank you.
You can't be a good representative if you aren't in business, and you've done a very good job at maintaining your farm. I think it's fascinating, when a farm gets engulfed by the city to be able to move out. I couldn't even imagine restarting like y'all did.
It was great to do it at the time because the timing was right. I have no desire to ever do that again, though.
Yeah.
Just to be completely honest. I mean, that's something for the next generation to take care of someday, if that's their choice.
I
But
believe you.
that was it was a lot.
Matt Boucher from Dwight, Illinois. Matt, thank you for being here today. Everybody else, we'll catch you next time.